Yeah.
Pastor said something that really like that spoke to the tension I feel. It's like I'm still doing the work.
Right.
How are we celebrating if there's work to be done? You feel?
Yes.
It's like doing the end zone celebration before getting in the end zone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But is it not good to get a conversion on third down? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
it's that tension, and then you throw in the fact that you don't have control of life. So I can't just say, you know what, I'm gonna die about let's call it 92. So when I get 80, I really throw it up. You know, I have no say in that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
add that into it, and it makes you want to grab the moment. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Really fail to celebrate because I'm not great at grabbing the moment. Because when it comes, like I can do that later. And then Pastor, you said something that really like challenged me too. The crazy thing is, and it's right on topic, is I only have a struggle celebrating myself. I will go to your pastor appreciation. I will call you and commend you on your business. I'll
Right.
support your business.
Right.
I'll throw it up. If you
Yeah.
call me and you not celebrating, I'll be like, bro, you tripping? You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
literally only me.
I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy.
Change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come.
A co-op has to start with ownership. We have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, we come in with real expectations. Because this is this is covenant.
The whole premise is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this journey possible, often vested in the
I've learned that it's okay to celebrate myself.
Right.
Not to be cocky or gaudy or high-minded,
Right.
but to say, man, come on, man. Given where you started,
Right. Right.
you should be proud of yourself.
Right. Yeah. Right. But like, why, like, do you feel like, because I think if I do, I feel like my ego will take too much hold of my mind if I celebrate too much, right? And like you said, you always gotta like stop tripping, like you've come a long way, it's small, it's a little, it's kind of like I'm hard on myself, then I gotta try to heal myself, like stop tripping, it's okay, you gotta mess up, like or things aren't perfect, everyone has a journey, you gotta kind of boost yourself after kind of tearing yourself down, or like, man, how could I be so dumb? How could I, what is
That's
it?
the easy part.
Yeah.
That's been easy. Oh man, what were you thinking?
Right.
The hard part is, or what used to be difficult, and that again, it's personal because there are many people who have learned to give themselves that reassurance every morning. Wake up, look in the mirror, and be like, "You are the man.
Right.
You are all that in a bag of chips.
All that.
Stick your chest out. Hold your head up."
Right.
I don't think that is self-congratulatory as much as it is self-motivation.
Right. Gotcha. But
like I've never preached a word and said, "Man, you preach that thing."
Never?
No, because I'm a vessel.
I got you. But there is
I've said, "Ooh, that felt good."
Okay. Gotcha. But never you preach that thing. Like,
yeah, because to me that would be selfish.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, because what you're saying is you preached it and not God.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, like,
I mean, I used to. There were times when I washed my car. I'm like, man, you did that thing. Woo, look at
right.
that thing you did up the car. You know,
right.
little things like that.
Right.
Or when I used to cut my hair. Oh man,
Right.
you know,
Right.
that.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
looking in the mirror after putting on a set of clothes, be like, man, Negro.
You done did that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
you look good, man. You know.
Wow. Right. I got you. But yeah. So you do that pretty. So you celebrate yourself pretty often, or you find a period. You don't really struggle with kind of giving yourself props when needed. You don't really find yourself struggling with it, or do you feel like there are
I
moments
guess
that you should?
it depends on how you're presenting the question, because I'm a confident person,
Right.
although I have been less than confident at times in my life.
Right.
Right. I'm not braggadocious.
Okay. Right. That makes sense. Sense.
So it's I don't know. It just depends on how you're delivering the question.
Right.
I think that and again, as a black man, I feel like, and I have to say as a black man, because I have to go back to what my experience is in this world,
Mm-hmm.
in my community,
Right.
and in my family.
Okay.
Right. And so when it comes to being a black man, the average guy that, you don't hear a whole lot of celebration.
Yeah. Right.
I think we're learning.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. We tend to celebrate greatness, supernatural greatness. We don't celebrate goodness.
Okay. I'm with you there.
Right.
I'm with you there. You're right.
In order to be celebrated in our community, you got to do it 3 times as fast,
right,
5 times better.
Right.
Like,
makes sense.
I love what Chris Rock said. I'm a globally recognized individual.
Right.
But my next door neighbor is a dentist.
Right.
I have to be globally recognized. I got to be a multimillionaire, known all over the world, to live next door to a dentist and be considered good.
Right. Indeed.
So that's a lot of what my experience has been as a black man.
Okay.
It doesn't take away from who I am, but that has been the culture of the view of the black man. And I'm not saying that's how everybody sees the black man. I'm just saying my experience has been, we have to do so much more, because we're celebrated so much less.
Right.
And when no one is celebrating you, it's difficult to celebrate. It becomes more challenging to celebrate yourself.
Right.
Learn to do that.
Right. Overall, because I think, I think I grew up more, and I think for me, it's the way I grew up. Like, I think I grew up with more correction than celebration.
Yes.
So I think I'm always correcting myself. Let me get Mr. Reparations in the building. I just sent out another text, get everybody on Facebook or LinkedIn, see what happens, see how it goes down. But
morning, Mr. Terrell.
Going on, fellas?
All is well.
Dropping bombs, Pastor. Dropping bombs already.
Oh, you've been listening?
Yeah, man.
I'm hoping it makes sense, man.
It does. Oh, so yeah, like, if like growing up, did you find yourself being more corrected than celebrated? More there was, and it wasn't like you were just bad. It's just, I think our nature sometimes is correction more than celebration. Like, I have to, like, even my own kids, I find myself like, I need to kind of congratulate or celebrate the small moments. Like I'm always on top of them about cleaning, but when they clean good, you know, it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, like,
no. That's funny. That's funny. Do you? I don't see that. I don't see you doing that.
No, I don't say it. I just don't celebrate. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't say that. I just it's clean. It's like, oh yeah, cool. It's clean. You know, like they did their job. I didn't have to yell today. You know, but I've had to find myself going back. Like, you know what? I'm always on top of them about cleaning, and then when they do it, I need to make sure I say something like, "Good job, guys. You know, great job with this cleaning today. You hit all the spots. You know, because it as a parent, at least for me, it's like it just you're trying to correct to make them better.
But with children, I think, you know, to correct and celebrate, is that not mutually exclusive? I mean, you think about because the reality is you're teaching,
right? Yes.
So I can celebrate you and teach you or correct you at the same time.
True indeed.
They both are teaching tools, but it's just not commonly used.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, looking back, what I believe my parents were trying to do was prepare me for the world.
Yeah.
I think they thought the tool of correction was more beneficial than the celebrating. My dad didn't go to my high school graduation, but he was the leading force in education in my house.
Right.
I was scared to bring report cards home to him.
Right.
He knew my teachers.
Gotcha.
He was the one that can do any math problem. Like his two things: trust the Lord and get a good education. Like education is his stamp, but yet he didn't go to my graduation. So, you know, I didn't feel a way about it, but I'm saying celebrate. He had a wrestling match. He came late. He walked in. I won. It's the fastest match I've ever won. I won in the first period. It was like a minute and some seconds. He walked right back out. We didn't even talk about it that night. You know what I'm saying? So like celebrating just wasn't his thing. So when my parents were trying to raise me, they were trying to prepare me for the world. I don't think they thought celebrating was, you know, the most useful in terms of preparation. I've heard more kudos from them today than I did as a child.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
Delayed celebration, deferred celebration, because I want you to stay focused. I don't want you getting the big head too soon.
Could possibly be. Still processing, still trying to figure it out. And I'm noticing more of what they did, obviously, because I have kids, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's I'm putting two and two together, you know, but it just wasn't.
But so do you like the conversation basically is, do you struggle with celebrating yourselves, like giving yourself high five on good stuff, or kind of, you know, like, man, that was pretty dope. You're pretty nice at this, you know, like motivating.
Yeah.
You know.
For me, celebration is aligned with worthiness, and there's times where I just don't feel worthy. So I don't feel like it's worthy of celebrating. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I fall in line a lot with what Pastor's talking about, you know, it being a part of your job. You know, that's what you should have done. And then when I do something right, when I know I hit it on the head, I mean, almost immediately what comes up is something I did wrong, which I do try to put aside,
right,
press on in what I'm in, but it does stop the celebration.
Yeah.
I don't let it, like, I know it's brought up to make me feel more unworthy. So I fight it on that end. Like, I'm over that, I'm past that, but it does dull the celebration.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like y'all know by now, dealing with me for years, I ain't too big on the birthday celebrations.
Right. I know.
Anything you've seen in the last 13 something years is because of my wife.
Right.
Same with me.
Same with me. I mean, for me, me and the birthday celebrations and things of that nature, because, you know, I grew up without it. You know, like you know, my mother's Jehovah's Witness. You know, I got Christmas. I think maybe they negotiated. It's like, you know what? All right, fine, no birthday, but we're gonna have Christmas. You know, like I don't know. Like I thinking about my dad, I guess he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight you. Fine, no birthday, but there's gonna be some Christmas in this house. You know, like I don't know. So and it's crazy. Like I might have said it before, but I remember getting a birthday cake one time. I don't know. It was no celebration, just on the table. Like, I remember coming in the house like, oh, birthday cake. Like maybe my mother was working late. I don't know what's going on. But and my dad was like, that's for you. It was like, oh, well, happy birthday to me. Like, so never birthday was never a big thing. Like, he would buy me something, of course, like the birthday, he would buy me a toy or whatever, depending on the age. But but it was never a celebration. So it was, for me, it was like, when we getting together, I was like, oh yeah, it is my birthday. It's like, you going to work? Yeah, it's just May 9th. It's just May 9th, Tuesday, May 9th. I'm going to work. Like, it's what I do every day. Oh, so
but when you go without it, you don't really realize it's not that you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until like you see like friends.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I feel for some of these folk. I mean, these kids on the social media stuff, because you get to see these celebrations and they got the camera and you spinning around and you can enjoy life from all angles. It's like a lot to take in because it just don't feel not normal until you step out. Like, that's what I'm saying. When I went to college, and I got some I know Dr. Rollins don't like when I talk like that, but I got some stuff against the traditional push for every student to go to college. But what I will give it is, if you can get out of your city, your zone, your comfort zone, it blows your mind. Like, and I went from South Florida to North Florida. You know what I'm saying? Broward to Duval. And my mind was just like, what? You know what I'm saying? Finding out the different stores, the different ways that we talk. We talk a little funny in Florida, but finding out different twangs and stuff throughout the counties and what y'all eat, and the fact that everybody, it blows your mind. So when you start getting out of there, when I started living with other people, I started realizing what my daddy was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people, y'all live nasty. You know what I'm saying? And something that instantly went from aggravation, here he go again, went to something that I become the champion of. Like, y'all gonna have to clean this up. Smoke weed, but why is the ashes on the table? You know what I'm saying? Like, leaving the food, it was like ridiculous. So when you step out and you get married and you have a wife that grew up in a house that they did things different, you know what I'm saying? You start like, I don't know, it just raises awareness. Like you say, it just wasn't a big deal for me. So I'm not taking out the whole random Tuesday because it's my birthday. Like, okay.
right.
You say so. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I think in this day and age, we overdo it far too early.
How so?
With young people.
Oh.
I when I look around at young people today, I'm like, man, what are you going to do when you're 25 if you've done all that by 13?
Oh, the whole bucket list.
Yeah, when we talk about, you talk about celebrating yourself. I'm like, you do so much celebrating. I'm like, what's next? A trip to the moon? Because you've done everything already.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be some healthy balance, and every generation feels like they had it. Well, I'll say this. Every previous generation feels like they had it harder than this generation.
Yeah.
Right. Your grandfather said, man, I used to low crawl through broken glass just to get to school. We walked barefoot in the snow,
Right.
Really? Did you? And you didn't.
Grandpa went through it.
Right. So there is that, but I also recognize that, the best example for me is when I was a single father, single parent. And people will be like, oh, wow, that's so wonderful. You're a single parent. That's not wonderful.
Right.
Don't celebrate that. Right. That's a broken home.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
You're such a great guy. You take care of your children. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? You understand?
Right.
So that, like, to me, that was a great example of me not getting full of myself.
I got you.
And not celebrating myself because I had too much work to do.
Yeah.
But now, I got my last child coming out of high school, heading to college, and I'm like, wow,
Right.
You know, you graduated 5 children
Right.
from high school.
Right.
Uh, you got no uh, issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you should feel good
Yeah.
about yourself.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they all know the Lord.
Right.
You know, give yourself a little, all right, okay. Only because
Yeah.
I could have been in prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And there were so many opportunities where I could have been in prison.
Right.
I could have
Right.
been strung out on drugs. There were
Right.
opportunities where I should have been strung out on drugs.
Right.
You know, I mean, I should have been dead, sleeping in my grave. You
Right.
know,
Moment.
but
Yeah.
here I am, and I can say that. You know,
Yeah.
I've been taking care of my family. I've been a father for 34 years, and I lost my son, but thank God that I have a relationship with all of my children.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, some would call that normal, but I say that's to be commended.
Right.
Yeah. You seem to not be normal.
Yeah, because I'm a black man,
Right.
and
But see,
how
I
the
think
world views us.
I think that's where the celebration or the congratulation to when women or even probably men would see you with your kids. Like, oh wow, it's great to see, dad taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because in their world, it's like that's an anomaly. Like it's just unheard of.
No,
So I
and what I've learned is it's not unheard of. It's
right.
just not celebrated.
See, yeah, it's not
Celebrate. Yeah.
celebrated.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
True.
The other set of issues are used to be more prevalent. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Are more
That's what's up.
visible. Yeah.
I said something that really like that spoke to the tension I feel. It's like I'm still doing the work.
Right.
How are we celebrating if there's work to be done?
Yes.
You feel? It's like doing the end zone celebration before getting in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? But is it not good to get a conversion on third down? You know what I'm saying? So it's that tension, and then you throw in the fact that you don't have control of life. So I can't just say, you know what, I'm gonna die about let's call it 92. So when I get 80, I really throw it up. You know, I have no say in that. You know what I'm saying? So like add that into it, and it makes you want to grab the moment. And you know what I'm saying? I really fail to celebrate because I'm not great at grabbing the moment. Because when it comes, like I can do that later. And then you said something that really like challenged me too. The crazy thing is, and it's right on topic, is I only have a struggle celebrating myself. I will go to your passive appreciation. I will call you and commend you on your business. I'll support your business. I'll throw it up. If you call me and you not celebrating, I'll be like, bro, you tripping? You know what I'm saying? It's literally only me. I understand the concept of celebration and what it can do for you and how it can boost you. You know what I'm saying? Especially like in Pentecostal settings, you know, you up there preaching and people getting with you. It's encouraging. You know what I'm saying? It's I get celebration. I just don't get celebrating me. So it's not as foreign of a concept, but it's just hard to bring home.
So let me ask y'all this, and I kind of probably know both you guys' stance on this, but I want to let's dig into it. How do you guys feel about being recognized and celebrated, like having Oh yeah, let's dig into that. You know, you're doing the work. We like, yo,
for what? For who? Who's celebrating? Why you celebrating? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the purpose thereof. You know what I'm saying? And then like, are you putting me up there to be an example? Because you're not telling people my bad. You feel what I'm saying? You can give a false picture of me, and it still trips me out sometimes when people reach out to me. And when I'm shocked at the text message or the call or whatever. Like my sister called me and my wife the other day about some financial stuff. It was like she looking to do this, blah blah blah, and she was using us as an example. And we looking at each other like, but we know what lights got cut off. We know what cars got repossessed. You get what I'm saying? We know the struggle. Somewhere along trying to get it together, y'all thought we were the people call. Like it's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult being recognized because once again, it's like so much work to be done and so much I've already messed up on. You know,
but
you're celebrating.
But the celebration is we see where you at, and we appreciate. You know, we know you're probably going through. We don't know to the extent, but you, in our eyes, you're kind of winning. You know, like so we want to know what are you doing to maintain. It's kind of like, you know, each one of us want to like lose weight and get ripped, and there's someone in our circle that's ripped. You know, like and just has it together, especially if we knew them as Fat Boy. You know, like I knew Fat Boy, you know, and he's here or she's here, and we're just like, all right, we go and glean. I know there's a struggle. I know there's a journey. We want to know, what are you doing or what did you do to get to where you at?
But you usually the last one to recognize that you're losing weight, though.
Right. That is true. Yo, that is true. Like, are you losing weight? Like, am I? You know. But yeah, it's you know, because people have looked at us and I'm like, we ain't doing nothing. You know, like we just trying to get better. You know, I'm just trying to get in a better space. But you know, this ain't. We just living. You know, like we just living and avoiding certain situations. But I think the celebrating of where you at. You know, the why is you're just an example of great things happening. You're an example of what happens when you're consistent. You know, I think that's what's celebrated. And I know it's challenging. You know, even on my birthday, when people are singing, I'm like, yeah, happy birthday to me. I don't know. I haven't been taught how to receive like that either. But
the birthday song is the single most awkward song.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, so you're not used to all that by now, though. Like, I mean, people stand when you come in. You got titles locally, national.
That doesn't no. See, that's not the culture for me. You don't stand when I come in.
Right.
I don't. That's never been a cult. That's never been a thing at my church.
Right. That's true.
I'm not all rise. No. That's not. You stand when the word of God is being read,
Right.
or when it's time to pray, but not because pastor came in the door.
Right. Yeah.
You still like the single highest title celebrated in that setting, though, right? Is that become weirder?
That's where I get like. That's why AD he thinks he's funny. That's why he put it out there.
Oh yeah.
Because he knows that's not how I live.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So he's waiting to hear what my response is, right?
Yep.
Because I don't do that. It's
Yeah.
never like that's what gets me in trouble.
Right.
Is because I'm not the robe.
Right. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
You know, I put a robe on when it's a formal,
Yeah. Probably
sanction.
Yeah. Right.
You know, when we're performing one of the covenant, one of the ordinances of the church.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yep.
other than that, I'm gonna wear a suit.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel like I'm in costume.
Right.
Even though I know the priests wore their priestly robes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. I'm always of the mindset that any one of us
Right.
could be doing this.
Right.
It just happens to be me.
Right. That's true.
Right. That's my mindset. And that gets me in trouble with a lot of clergy.
Right. Right.
It gets me in trouble with people who are conformed to the culture of the church.
Right. Right.
I'm not even supposed to be on Brothers of Legacy anymore.
Right. Right.
I shouldn't be on here putting all this out here like this.
Right.
I put too much because like when you talk about being celebrated too much, when you do that, what happens to your mindset? Now I can't show you my weakness because of how you view me.
Right.
I spend more time telling people my drama. Well, I spend more time telling people how good God is, and right behind that, I tell people my drama to let them know I'm not all that.
Right.
Right.
And I probably put too much emphasis on telling people I'm not all that.
Right.
It might be to a fault.
Right.
But I want people to understand, and I understand that, you know, there's always going to be someone who looks up to you, always.
Right.
Which is why your sister-in-law came to you.
Right. Exactly.
Someone's always watching. Someone's always going to
watching.
appreciate
Yep.
some kind of example coming out of your life.
Yeah.
Or they should, right? And so you take that and you appreciate it, and you give God glory for it, and you give them the information that they need.
Right.
You know, but I'm also want to remind people of what the pitfalls could possibly be.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I'm slow to celebrate. I don't like. I mean, I appreciate people celebrating me.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm always careful.
Yeah.
With that stuff. Let's not do too much. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of times, like people in my village have to surprise me.
Yeah.
They won't even tell me that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Because if you
You
tell
gonna
me, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gonna fight it. He gonna fight it. I ain't got time for that. We gotta do other stuff. We got stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then like I think for those who struggle, like the way I struggle, I would love like small steps. Maybe we celebrate, but it's just a small intimate setting. Like don't throw me from none to everybody in the room singing awkward songs, right? So like road trips, one-on-one hangout nights or whatever, like, you know, random Thursday, hey, this is the celebration, no matter how big the thing, you know what I'm saying? Something to help balance it, because a big moment with a big celebration, you know what I'm saying, is just kind of, it's overload for me. But once
here's the thing. But here's what I'll say, because I know you well enough now, E, to say that with people like you and I, it is to a fault, right? Which is why I opened this up saying I'm learning every day to celebrate myself more.
Right.
You understand? Because you do only get one life, and I believe that you're worth celebrating.
Right.
Right. And I realize I'm worth celebrating.
Yep.
You know, we spend too much time thinking about the mistakes we made
Right.
And we
Right.
don't spend enough time thinking about the accomplishments we've made,
Right.
in spite of the mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's an energy with that.
Right.
You know, if I'm believing God for breakthroughs,
Right.
and I got to be able to break through myself.
Right.
You know, if I'm
Yes.
celebrating God for what He's done in my life,
Right.
I should be able to celebrate how I walked it out.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
because I feel bad when I make a mistake. Why can't I feel good when I do it right?
Right. Exactly.
You know, and that's the part that I missed early in life.
Yeah.
I spent so much time on the mistakes
Right.
and spending so much time on the mistakes caused me to not put enough energy into the celebrations, the successes.
Yep.
Because, well, it's just what I'm supposed to do. I got work to do. I got to keep going. You know, I get in trouble right now. People call me, when is the last time you're on your motorcycle, Pastor?
Right.
I get in trouble. Like I just got asked that question yesterday. And it doesn't matter the last time I was on it. Anytime someone asks me, it's been too long.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When are you going to do something for you? God, you're always working. Every time I turn around, you're working. When is the last time you left the house? When did you? I'm like, come on, COVID, it's COVID, man. We ain't trying to go nowhere. I ain't getting nobody's playing. COVID, you know.
Right.
It became a great excuse, but the reality is, we have to learn to celebrate ourselves.
Right.
You know, and what I appreciate people that have no qualms with celebrating themselves.
Right.
I just feel like certain people overdo it.
Right. Some people go big time on it. Some people go big.
Yeah.
But
But why do they go so big? Is it masking something? Is it literally just how they get down? Is there any celebrators in the comments that can help me with that? Like, I'm just curious. Like, when you go that big, what's the thought process? You'll never have this moment again. It was really that worthy of a win. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think,
it's like, well, if no one else celebrates me, I'm gonna celebrate me.
right. I think that's it. I think folks that can undo that, they just, you know, they feel good about themselves. You know, they're just like, no one has really done, you know, because they may be the opposite spectrum of like how I grew up. Like I said, I didn't have birthdays and stuff like that. They could have been like, you know what? When I get older, my birthday is going to be the bomb every year. You know, like it's all about me on the 9th. I don't care if it's a Monday, you know, like I'm taking off. I'm doing it big, you know. I'm
celebration, revenge.
You know, like I'm doing whatever, you know. And so I think that could be it. Because saying it, I was like, I guess I can imagine, like, especially like you said, Ephraim, if you see, especially now social media has kind of made it worse.
Yeah.
You know, like
lot of
families and all these parties, and if I was a kid, oh my gosh, looking like, that party looks dope. I wish I could get surprised by my family doing it, you know, like, so that it's like that what is it? Not FOMO, but just, you know, that not, I won't say envy, but just I want, like, that's what I want in my life, you know. So when I get older, you know, the adult proclamation, when I get older, it's going down just like this, you know, like, and they do whatever they got to do to create that environment. So so I think people that go big have probably not had it, or maybe have had it and something shifted, so they've now had to take charge of celebrating themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's bad. I mean, some people go big time, but you know, it just, you need to push, you know, for your esteem. Like, I'm great, I'm dope, I'm glad I'm alive. You know, I've been contributing, I've been making things happen. And even like past, like even the jobs we have that are, this is what I'm supposed to do, is just like, but I'm doing it. Like, take care of these kids, I'm providing for this house, you know. And then the little stuff, when they were sick, I did whatever. When I was sick, I did, you know, like, high five, I made this thing happen, you know, by the grace of God, you know, I made this thing happen. So
if I was more comfortable with celebrating, I would have had a better wedding than I did. Because I'm the way I am, I fought her without even knowing I was fighting her. Literally everything was, why we gotta do all that? You know what I'm saying?
because you don't want people to look. Oh, he think he all that, or they.
Right. I think that's it too.
It'd be a much better one now.
Yeah, off what other people's perception might be, and again, as Black men, that's one of the greatest challenges that I've seen we have.
Right.
Is we do too much celebrating. You know, you think you're better than somebody or whatever the case might be. Right. You know, because we've lived a life of someone always trying to put us in our place.
Right.
But what I've come to realize is, man, I'm the best that this earth has to offer.
Right. You got to get to that space that you just like.
Got to get there.
Yeah, you got to get there. And but look at what it takes to get there. So again, I believe in a healthy balance. I do believe in daily affirmations.
Yeah.
I believe in that. You know, I can do all things through Christ. It's in me. Whatever. There's a champion inside here.
Right.
You know, I'm a great thinker. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm insightful.
What you're saying is powerful because that, like I said earlier, that's kind of where it's at for me. Like the foundation of me not celebrating is based on some worthiness. You feel me? Like people who get that, they're worthy of it. You feel what I'm saying? Even at times when I know better, I'm just saying what starts on the inside. Like it naturally comes up, and then I got to sit there and fight just senses of worthiness. You feel me? Yeah. Because overall, what I'm saying is I don't feel like somebody that's worthy to celebrate. You feel me? Right. That you might be celebrating a moment, you know what I'm saying? That I accomplished a thing, but even that was about the skin of my teeth. So let's just chill out. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying?
But again, it's because of what we have seen celebrated.
Yeah,
that's it too. That's
great. Yeah.
He's the only one to ever.
Right.
That bar is just like
the bar. Right. We had to do so much to be celebrated. So like, man, what? I spent 3 years on my job.
Right.
You know,
it's the argument they make with the Hall of Famers. Like, I don't think Chad Ochocinco is a Hall of Famer receiver, but I think he had an amazing career. You know what I'm saying? Like, is his career not worth celebrating because he's not going to make the Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? So like, what you're saying is powerful. Like, I got to redefine what's worthy of celebration.
Yeah. Right. Because we have set the bar so high, and I'm like, I tell people there's a difference between good and great.
Right.
But we come from a place where you celebrate great and ignore good.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, are you just good?
Yeah.
You ain't great.
Yeah, not everybody, but if
good.
you talk to more people about it, they'll probably have the same struggle.
Yeah.
Celebrating themselves.
I wish you would have said this if we had this talk before I wrote my goals for this year, because I raised them so high. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Like now I just kind of want to bring them down. You feel right? And like some of my numbers.
No, stop. Because you don't bring them down.
Yeah. But I mean, they so ridiculously high. Like, okay, I'm saying,
but it doesn't matter. Guess what?
What?
Listen. If you're not striving for the impossible, you'll never achieve greatness.
Right.
But I'm going to count. I'm going to put it in the failed category if I don't reach it, and that's what I didn't do. I didn't have that allowance for it being okay that I went, because, like, okay, let's say I want to have before the pandemic. No, in 2020, when the pandemic's. Like, no, it was February of 2020. The whole goal was to have like all these dates per quarter or whatever, and we got one in February before everything hit March. Right. But like, as I look back at that number, we like the whole point that it got on the agenda is because the year before we had none. You know what I'm saying? Right. So theoretically, if I had two, I'm tripling my numbers, man, by percent is what I'm saying. But like, I have not been letting myself off the hook. You feel me? So I hear you. I think I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna keep striving high and land somewhere in between. But I gotta make it okay to not hit that exact number.
Because you got
but also remember to say, but I did do this.
Right. Exactly.
I don't have that but in that.
Yeah. because we work for, if you ever work for retail, especially, they always looking at numbers and percentage,
Always.
what you did last year and what you did, and of course for them, like, if if you ever get the goal, you're like, they tripping, they want us to get to what, but if you think about it, we can't be like the retail, because if you don't get to that number, they tripping, but you like, stop tripping, you still made the 10 million that you might not have hit the 20, but you made 10, and that's still good. Like, that's 50% more than what you got last.
Did you hear Les Miles, like 35 years ago, he was doing a session with a group of people. Yeah. And he said he wanted them to finish the sentence. He said, practice makes.
Right. Perfect.
Right. Did you hear what he said after that? He said, practice makes, and the whole crowd said perfect. He goes, no, scratch that. Erase that from your mind.
Yeah.
Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes better.
That's what it was. Yeah, I did see him say that. Yeah.
Right.
Practice makes better. Yes.
He said you don't strive for perfection. You strive for better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Like you talking about retail, I was going over Mac McKenzie. Shout out to Mac, one of the best bosses I ever worked for. Elder in Church of God in Christ. Matter of fact, we were going over the sales budget for the whole year, right? And they had this crazy high number, like you were saying, AD, and he broke it down and said that this number is some calculation made by some super rich Harvard kid somewhere, right? They just have a number that they have to fit. But he was like, he always looks at last year's number. You know what I'm saying? Because he said that's what we actually did. Literally, you just want to beat yourself. Be better than you were this time. So you'll always see on those P&L statements, you'll always see like this year, and you'll also see like projected sales versus this time last year, and your projected sales versus like your sales goal that you get from corporate. Yep. And those numbers, the variation will be different, right? But you pay attention, but you put that to the side. Just beat yourself. Just be better than you were this time last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's that seems to be the goal, but it gets lost, man. It gets lost. All the goals.
It became my mantra for life, man. I'm better than I was yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's I think I said
received that.
I meant Les Brown. I don't know why.
Yeah, Les Brown. I was like, Les Miles? Who's Les Miles? Looking up like, who is Les Miles? I ain't never
former coach of
LSU. Same thing. About the same shade.
Right.
But it's that's powerful though. Like, just be better. I just really just want to let myself off the hook a little bit more. I mean, hold me accountable. Don't get me wrong, but man, because like when you feel you made these huge mistakes, it's very hard to get over. And I made this equation in my head that says one huge mistake, you got to have at least 15 great successes. You know what I'm saying? And that'll balance it out. But getting no success.
It's just bad. It's unhealthy thinking.
It is.
Yep.
Right. Because it's completely contrary to the teaching of the gospel.
Right.
If God throws it into the sea of forgetfulness, why am I holding on to it?
That's a great question.
Yeah. And you have to remember that your children are watching.
Definitely.
One of the greatest lessons I've had in life with my children is making sure that your children aren't afraid to tell you they messed up.
Right.
Because if you don't celebrate enough, they're going to be afraid to tell you they messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's critical. And if we're that hard on ourselves, most parents don't understand how they look in the eyes of their children.
Yeah.
And they see more than we think they see.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, you don't know how you look to your children until they're old enough to display it or tell you without fear of consequence.
Right.
Because at some point, you're going to find out the truth about what kind of parent you were.
Right.
Or what kind of parent you are to your children. You're going to get the truth out of your children by their actions or even by their words.
Right.
Yeah.
Or by both. And so we have to be careful what we look like to make sure we're bringing them up in a wholesome and healthy an environment that is conducive for a healthy growth of our children. Right. And we make those mistakes because we carry so many scars of our own childhoods and our own mistakes. Yep. And we make those visible to our children. I think it's important that they know we're not perfect, but we're better.
Right.
Yeah. And it's important, I guess, then, if what you say is true, not to be getting mad at them for acting like you. You know what I'm saying?
Because even the Bible says such were some of you.
Yeah.
The Bible reminds us, don't get full of yourself because you look just like that. And I tell people all the time, there's nothing worse than an ex-smoker.
Right.
Ex-smokers can't stand cigarette smoke because it's a reminder of where they've come from.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to be careful when someone else is struggling in an area that you used to struggle in. What you need to tell them is you can get through this. You can make it. I know because I've been there, done that, got the button.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's. I think that's been my talk with my son. You know, I tell him how he is in school. I tell him how he's thinking. I was like, "Ooh, how do you think I know what you're thinking? I think I know how you're struggling."
Yeah.
This
And
guy,
that child is quick to say, "You don't know me.
right.
It's different. It's different with me."
Right. Sorry, buddy.
I told my mother that.
Right. Oh man, this is good. I appreciate you guys being on. I appreciate this conversation. Definitely, I love this being open. You know, to celebrating ourselves. You know, like I said, when it came up that night, I really thought about like, man, you know, how open are we to celebrating ourselves, congratulating ourselves, and you know, I think when you get into that, when you really get into being a man of responsibility, you know, we're good with the accountability. we hold ourselves accountable. Like, man, you got to do better, brother. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get better. But we don't spend enough time celebrating our wins. You know, like, yo, you're doing the thing. You know, last year, you know, 10 years ago, where were you at? Like, you know, as you high five yourself for that, like, dude, you know, and situations you avoided, you know, responses that you didn't respond to, you know, you're making strides, you're doing better, you're growing, you know, and we just got to get into a place where we can feel good about ourselves and our journey. I think, you know, and not work on the gas of negativity of I gotta do better. But oh man,
But the thing is,
that
to me, that's not negative.
Well, sometimes I think, do you feel like you don't, if you're not celebrating at least like you're doing this thing, good job. Let's keep, like if you're running, right? Or you're like in a race or just running for yourself, you know, if you feel like, man, I'm not making any strides, you tend to stop, you know, like, oh,
it depends really, because here's how I used to look at that.
All right.
You know, when I would run a mile or run 2 miles, was my time today better than my time last time?
Right.
Like if I'm running several miles, what is my time each mile? Am I running a 5-minute mile? Am I running a 6-minute mile? You know, I know that's kind of, I used to run a 5-minute mile. It's amazing.
Wow.
But when I was running like that, it was always about.
That's big. Okay.
It was always about decreasing the mile by seconds.
Right.
Not by minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but the thing is, it's hard to run and look at my watch, the clock.
Yeah.
So what you do is you just focus on the run and your breathing.
Right.
And then at the end, you check your time. Like, oh wow.
But what happens, right? But what happens, right? We talk about better. What happens when you don't reach your goal? Like now, like you did the 5-minute, right? Boom, I'm trying to get it down to 4.5 or, you know, 4 3/4. However, just a little, because, you know, a second, especially in running, is huge. That's big. But say that 5-minute turns into 7, you know, like you could, like you said, you can't walk the watch. You can.
Then you have to count that as a bad day.
Yeah, you beat yourself up and tell you fat and you slow. Yeah. That's the easy answer.
No, I mean, like, no, for me, it's like, okay, wow, maybe something happened that day.
Right.
You know, that's the reality, because not every day is going to be great.
Right.
That's the key. Like,
but do you get
for every day not to be great is very hard.
Do you at least give yourself a check for, well, at least I got out here, you know?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what you have to do, because you realize, you know, like it's interesting. We're parents, we're brothers, we're husbands, we're all of these things. But when's the last time you had a disagreement with your spouse? It wasn't a great day.
Right.
Does it make you a bad husband?
Right.
No, it just wasn't a great day.
Right.
It was just,
See, that's another rabbit hole too.
it was a challenging conversation. Yeah, because now you have to figure out, is this a pattern of behavior?
Right.
Right. But what I'm saying is, just on the surface, you have to recognize, in order to prevent the pattern of behavior, count that as I handled that conversation wrong.
Right.
And the next time I'll do better.
Right.
And let me go back and apologize for handling that situation wrong.
Right.
But those are the lessons we have, because, we spend, we'll look at a bad conversation and call ourselves a bad husband.
Right. And ready to throw in the towel. Like, that's it. Let's go and get this paperwork. Let's go and get this
And I've
paperwork.
learned, everything's not a divorceable issue.
Right.
Yeah. Thank God.
Right.
Right.
Everything is not a
that's
fireable offense.
That was another mindset I had to get out of. Like, man, this ain't divorceable. This is just it's a situation, just
Fixable.
an issue. Let's just deal with it. And let's
Like parenting your child, something happens. Oh God, I'm a bad parent. No, you had a bad experience.
Yeah.
Right.
So if that's the answer, then that's also the source where we should start trying to fix, because we don't say that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a pattern of behavior that says it was cool, this was a bad date. Like, we got to recategorize certain things, because we seeing the same thing, but what you telling me to count as just a bad day, I'm saying is the start to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why you suck. This is why this ain't going right. You get what I'm saying? So it's putting it in another way, or really recognizing what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Count it in this category instead of that one. Like, so that's kind of what I'm getting for this conversation. I got to start moving stuff into a whole other categoere, because I got spots that don't belong, man. So
right, and that's where I really wanted to dig into, like, just because we will harp on it, Man.
Well, listen, you have one life.
Right.
Yeah.
One. And so you have to be careful with how you're occupying your time.
Yes.
That's just the truth. Do not allow madness to occupy too much time in your life, in your mental space, in your spiritual space, in your emotional space. Because you only get one life.
Yeah. You spend weeks and months.
Yeah. Great conversation, man. Great conversation.
Definitely. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us. And we had some technical difficulties, so I know we're gonna get a lot of replay viewers. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out my podcast. People appreciate you as well. So we look forward to talking with you and seeing you tomorrow, Thursday. And stay tuned and connect with us. Text LWN to 84576 and never miss a broadcast. Text LWN to 84576 and always catch us live. All right. So we look forward to talking. See you. Have a good one. Make sure you stay safe. Continue to know that we love you. God loves you more. And we'll see you in the AM. Peace out. But as always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking, hanging, being. Make sure you're sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watch in the background that I know see this show